In this video, we're going to go over the ways that you can transfer or trace your image, your template, onto whatever surface it is that you need to work on. So you've seen this many times, the good old magic daffodil. Everyone's familiar with this. Hang on, let me get my magic wand. There we go. Magic daffodil. So today what I'm going to do is show you how to get the daffodil onto the surface that you want to put this on. So today I am using my good old sketch pad, my cheapo sketch pad. And I want to talk about the methods that we can use, and then we're going to go through them all. So as I was saying, we're using our magic daffodil template, and I'm going to show you another example as well. I'm not going to recreate this, but I'm going to show you the method and what we can do. All right, let's ditch the magic wand and get down to business. Okay, here's our magic daffodil. This is a template that I have used many, many times, so we're going to get a fresh one. We're going to get a fresh template. We're going to get it right here. So I've just printed off a few copies of my daffodil. Move these guys over here. So here we are. We have our daffodil and we have our sketch pad, and this could be a sketch pad, it could be watercolor paper, it could be a cotton stretched canvas, it can be anything. The methods can be used interchangeably. So let's talk about this. Clearly we have our outline of our daffodil and we want to transfer it onto the page here. Now when it comes to tracing and sketching, let's talk about the most obvious way to get this template onto this piece of paper. You can look at it, eyeball it, and sketch it freehand. That is definitely something you can do. I've done some things freehand, very simple sketches. When you don't have a lot of detail, freehand's a great way to go. It's a good way to get practice in too. Aside from drawing freehand, there is a grid method that we're going to look at in a few minutes. But right now I'm going to show you a really simple way. We have our outline here, and if we flip it over, if you have a good light source, you can actually see through the photocopy paper and can use a good old HB pencil to go around the outline. You could hold this piece of paper up to a window with the sunlight coming in and you will see the outline and can lay down your HB pencil graphite as the medium to get the image onto your page. Since we don't have a sunlit window right now, I'm going to show you an alternative. This is something that you don't need to do, but this is a light pad. I'm going to turn that off. Our light source is a pad that gives off light. So when I do this, I can make it brighter. I can turn it off. And what happens is when we put this face down, you can actually see the outline because the light is showing us where the lines on the good side are. With the light shining through, it shows you where all the lines of our template are. And in doing that, we can take our good old HB pencil and lay down graphite where those lines are. So if I start here, all I'm going to do, I remember doing this as a kid and in grade school. You want to trace stuff. Just put some graphite. Doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to be precise. You just want to make sure you've got some graphite that's around where you want to trace. And I'm just going around the outline of the flower. That's it. Just going around the outline, making sure that my graphite is covering anywhere that we have some lines from our original document. Let's see. It's going to be there. We're going to go around our little trumpet. That's there. All right. We're doing well. And it really just takes a few minutes. Cheap and easy. And this template, once you've got the graphite down like this, like so, you can use this over and over again. The reason being, this graphite, this lead that we're putting down here, once we trace it the first time, there's still going to be some left over. We're not going to press super hard, so it's really easy to see. And this is basically it. I think I got the top of that too. So now I'm going to get rid of our light source. We're going to move that out of the way. And now that we have our really messy looking traced piece here. We're going to take it, put it onto the surface that we want to work on. We're going to flip it over. Now you can't see what's going on underneath here, but if we just center it, and what I like to do is I like to take a different colored pencil. So I'm going to take just this orange colored pencil and I'm going to trace around all the lines of my template, like so. The good thing about using a different colored pencil or whatnot all the time is that you don't lose your place and you know exactly what you've already traced over. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going around very simply. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be exact. And there we go. Just going around each of the petals. Let's see, we'll go around there and here. Keep going around our petals. And even my template, it's a little bit broken up. It's not perfect lines. That's okay. It just gives you an easy visual, a general outline of what your art piece is going to look like. And then we've got our little pistils and stamens in here. Then I'm going to bring this down, do our stem. And if I have done this right, it looks like, based on my orange pencil, that I've got everything. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold it still, and I'm just going to pull this back and take a look. And there we are. We have transferred our template. And you can do this with virtually anything that you want to draw, paint, whatever. This is a super easy, cheap, quick way to get your image onto whatever surface you want to work on. I start with this because it's simple. It is super simple. How long did that take? No time at all. And then you can carry on with whatever it is you want to do. And of course, like I said, there's still graphite here on the page. So you can use this over and over and over again until it's just too light that you can't see it. Clearly, we have a good example here. Now let's take a look at some other methods. Aside from freehand and using our light source, along with our HB pencil on our template, we can also use a grid method. And I'm going to show you what I did with this flamingo. I almost called him a pelican. This flamingo that I had worked on. This is just an image that I got from Unsplash, and I'll put a link to the photo below. I think it's really pretty, and I had a lot of fun doing this with colored pencils. I'm going to show you the ways I had got this image onto my surface here in my sketchbook. So as you can see, pretty basic flamingo, face, neck, and then going into the body here. Here's a basic outline that I made using my light pad that we just saw and my HB pencil. Same thing, same method. And all I've done is taken the shapes, the basic outlines. I didn't go into the detail of the feathers and the colors. I just wanted the outline that I could work with. I used my light pad and my HB pencil. That's it. Super simple. So I did this one freehand. I wanted to play around with it, see how my sketching skills were going. I did pretty good for the most part. Had to fix up a couple lines, but other than that, it was fine. So there's a good freehand example. And then, we'll come back to this in a minute. Here is my grid. So let's talk about the grid method. In the grid method, you are literally laying down a grid on top of your image and then taking a grid on your surface and copying what is in each square. For example, if you look at our squares, let's start here. We have nothing of this flamingo. It's just background. We have nothing there, so I've put nothing in here. When we move to the next square, you can see there's a little bit of the flamingo's head here, and that is what I have drawn. When you move to the next square, you can see where the head is starting to extend to the neck and a little bit of the shadow there, and that is what I have drawn in this square. And so on and so forth. You can see the tiny bit of the neck here in this square, is what I have drawn. And as we go down, you can see where the eye and the bill start. Same thing. So you're just looking at the one particular section of the image so it's less overwhelming. And just using the basics, this is what I have drawn. And I even put down the grid method. This took me about 10 to 12 minutes to do, which is not a lot of time. Is the method of doing the transfer with your HB pencil easier and faster? Absolutely. But it's worth trying this just to get a feel for what it's like. When you are looking at detailed work, if there is something that you want to work on that has a ton of detail that you want to transfer onto your paper or your canvas, then the grid method is a really good one as well. If I wanted to, I could have put tons of detail with all of the feathers here. I chose not to. I just kept it simple and just wanted to show where the basic outlines of the wing and the flamingo's back were. That was enough for me. But you can get into as much detail as you want when you use the grid method. This does make it easier. Definitely easier than freehand. Well, at this point anyway. So there's my flamingo and my grid method. And then I'm just going to show you, after I transferred everything onto the page that I wanted to use, the paper I wanted to use, this is what I ended up with. So this was a first crack at doing a flamingo. There are some things that I really liked and some things I didn't. I'm kind of sad that I didn't film this. It was just a fun project that I was doing for fun to see how it would turn out. And for the most part, I think I did pretty well. Here, these dark spots that you can see here and here, I've been testing a couple of blenders for colored pencils. You'll see those in another video. But there we go. There's my flamingo. And then the next thing I want to talk about is transfer paper. So this is Saral wax-free transfer paper. And what this is, I'm going to pull out a sheet. It kind of feels like parchment paper a little bit. Oh, this one's huge. It's basically a super thin piece of paper. And this is all graphite. So instead of doing this with your HB pencil, it's right here on the page. And you can do the same thing. You flip it over onto your surface and you can put the pretty side down and trace. It does the exact same thing. And the good thing about this transfer paper is, like even using our simple templates, we've still got some graphite on here. This you will be able to use over and over and over and over. It's the same kind of thing. Should we do one? Let's do one. We're going to give it a try. I have not actually tried this myself because I just use the, so far, I've been just using the good old method. Let's use this side. Just the good old method of, how do I want to do this? There we go. The good old method of my HB pencil, which I like. And I don't want to use that. Let's use a clean version. So here's another copy of my template. Trying to line this up. So this one has no graphite on the back. So again, we'll just try and center it as best we can. We're going to get our pencil and do the same thing. We're just going to go around and follow the lines, go around the outline of our design. I get pretty fast at this. If you can't imagine, I have done a few of these magic daffodils, let me tell you. I'll be able to do this in my sleep pretty soon. Well, that's kind of the point, right? Repetition is key. It's a great thing. It's the muscle memory. It's how we get better and better at whatever it is we want to do. Anything in life. The more you do it, the better you get. Practice makes progress. That's what I say. Not perfection. We just want to see progress. And here's our little pistils or stamens. I really should look those up and see what they're actually called. And our stem. And there we go. So let's see how this goes. It's going to be a reveal for me too because I haven't used this paper yet. And here we go. Ready? Ta-da! Same thing. Now I will say, I think where I was pressing up my fingers down was coming through a little bit. However, it's great. It's great quality. Here's my other one. So this is the one that I did using the template with an HB pencil. And this is the one that I did using the graphite paper. Now let's see if you can see. It's super, super light. Oh, let's try we do our light pad? No. You can barely even see where we traced and the graphites come off the page. So yes, these can be used over and over and over. So definitely worth the money, I think, for that. And there we go. Just a couple of tips on how you can get your templates, your images, whatever it is you want to work on, onto the surfaces that you're going to be putting your paints, your pencil, whatever it is onto. I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, please put them below. Reach out and ask, because this is what the channel's all about. It's making sure that I give you the most value and answer your questions and get you as easily as possible onto your art journey or continuing on. And of course, improving. So if you don't have your Magic Daffodil template, make sure you get it. The description box below, take a look. You sign up to my email list and you get your template for free. Print off as many as you want and try these methods and have some fun. Let me know how it goes. I always love to hear from everybody. All right, we're going to leave it there. So thank you for watching, and until next time, happy creating.